Hello everyone and welcome back. If I've heard it said once, I've heard it 1,000 times. Shot placement is everything. But are we just fooling ourselves into thinking that it could really be that simple? I mean, after all, life is pretty complicated, and so is survival, perhaps more so. Now, I'll admit, phrases like shot placement is everything sound great, and they bring us some comfort, there's no doubt about it. But in the real world, the aggressors do not always stand still and wait for you to take perfect aim at them. That's just not how it goes usually. After all, if they were standing perfectly still, you probably wouldn't need to aim at them if you think about it. But what if they're running toward you full steam ahead and you only had one shot before they tackled you, or at least attempted to do so? You'll likely need to simplify and shorten your shot placement phrase down to just one simple word, and that would be shoot. Now, if you're lucky enough to get one shot off, ammunition selection matters. So today, we're going to try to take shot placement out of the equation, and here's how we'll try and do that. We are going to shoot two different blocks of clay that'll be the exact same weight, pretty much the exact same shape and size, and we're going to hit them both pretty much dead center, you can be sure, so that shot placement will not be the issue today. One of those blocks of clay will hit it with a 9mm. One of them will get hit with a .380. Now, as you might know, those are both .38 caliber bullets. But the 9mm is heavier and faster. Here's what I mean by that. It's going to be a 115 grain bullet, traveling at about 1,157 feet per second, and it's going to hit with about 342 foot-pounds of energy when we fire it from the full-size Glock 17. On the other hand, the .380, it's just going to be a 90 grain bullet. I've chronographed it, so I would know it's only going to travel at about 873 feet per second. It'll hit with about 152 foot-pounds of energy when we fire it from the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard .380. So you're probably asking yourself, how in the world is this even a fair comparison? Here's the kicker though. The 9mm bullet will be a full metal jacket round, and the .380 will be a Hornady Critical Defense FTX bullet that's designed to expand when it hits. Now which bullet do you want to go with? Now which gun do you choose? This is a tough choice. On the one hand, the 9mm will have more than double the amount of energy of the .380. There's no denying it, there's no getting around it. Sometimes less is more, sometimes more is more. So you've got the 9mm full metal jacket on one hand. On the other hand, the .380, it's a pretty good defensive cartridge with that Hornady Critical Defense bullet. You have to remember with that 9mm, even though it does have more energy, some of it might get wasted on what we would call pass-through energy if it simply just rips right through the target. So we're going to find out what happens. We're going to start by letting you see the firearms in action, side by side, so that you might make a more educated guess on what you think the results will be, and then we'll shoot the clay. If you like today's video, please remember to click the like button, do subscribe, turn on the notifications icon if you haven't already done so, and as always, we're looking forward to your comments. Thank you again. We'll be shooting at this 5-pound block of clay with a Glock 17 9mm. The ammunition will be the PMC 115 grain full metal jacket. All right, walking up right now to the block of clay and the water jugs that were just hit with a 9mm 115 grain full metal jacket. Here is the block of clay entrance, and here is the exit right here, and then the first water jug that it hit after it went through the clay right there. Still some pretty good hydrostatic damage on the back of that water jug. The next water jug in line got hit right about there, and a little bit of hydrostatic damage on the back of that water jug as well. Third water jug went in right there toward the bottom, exited right there toward the back, and I don't believe it went into any more water jugs. We'll take a look around and see if we can find it on the ground for you. Looks like I was able to find the recovered 9mm bullet. Here's what it started off like. Here's the recovered full metal jacket round fired through the Glock 17. One more time, here's your entrance side to that block of clay. And when you look at that in comparison to the whole bullet itself, to give you some perspective, and again, that's just the entrance side. On your exit, probably 3.5 inches wide or so on that exit. See if we can pick this up and look in there a little bit, get some sunlight in there. So yeah, it just probably about almost immediately once it hit that thing, it just starts to open up wider and wider toward the exit. That simple. We'll be shooting at this 5-pound block of clay using a 380, more specifically a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380. The ammunition will be the 90 grain Hornady Critical Defense. Walking up right now to the 5-pound clay block that was just hit with a 380 Hornady Critical Defense 90 grain bullet. I mean, doesn't that just say it all? I'm not sure if I can really add anything to what you're seeing here. Clearly it went through the block of clay. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 inches wide all the way through. And it went into the first water jug. It did not exit the first water jug. I'm sure the bullet is in there somewhere. Oh yeah, it's in there, and we'll pour that out in a moment for you. All right, I was able to recover that 380 auto, that Hornady Critical Defense. Here's how they start off. Here's how they finish when they open up. Let me flip this over for you, give you a little better view. That's how they finish right there. Fired through the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 380. And here is the block of clay on the front side. And on the back side. All right, so it just goes to show you that big things do come in little packages. Here's your Bodyguard 380, your Glock 17 9mm. This was the bullet used with the 380. Here's how it finished up. This was the bullet used with the 9mm. So when you're selecting the right ammunition for 380, it can certainly even up the odds in a hurry. Here is your Glock damage on the entry side. Here's your 380 on the entry side. Here's your 9mm on your exit. Just come around the other side, I think would be easier. Here's the exit side on these. 9mm exit, 380 exit. But again, that's apples and oranges. That's defensive ammunition versus full metal jacket ammunition.